everybody, this is Corrine Forrest, and this week I want to talk to you about discovering your passion. So there's an adage that goes that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Now, of course, this is oversimplified, but if you love what you do, it's going to help a lot, because when you love what you do, it fills your soul enough to sustain you during the tough times that will come inevitably. Even if you love what you do, there are going to be days when things go wrong, or you're not feeling well, or the people you have to work with are doing a bad job, or don't even show up for some reason. So life is always 50-50, positive emotions and negative emotions. So even if we love what we do, we're going to have the positive and the negative. However, I tell you, when you love what you do, your soul fills up enough to offset the negative emotions on there. So that's what kind of drives people to finding out what their passion is. And I'm really excited about this subject, because I believe like discovering what you're passionate about is the first step on your path to finding and living out your purpose. So as I go through a few questions to ask yourself to kind of dig into what is your passion, I don't want you to overthink this, okay? We have this big old brain that likes to get in our way, but these are pretty simple questions, and the answers should be what comes to you first on this. Don't want to analyze yourself too deeply. Just bear with me, go through the questions, and write them out simply. So the first question to explore is, what do you do outside of work? Okay, so we spend probably a great deal of the day working, either for someone else or for ourselves. But what do you do outside of that? And just list those kinds of activities that you do. The next question is digging a little deeper. It says, what's one thing that you do whenever you get the chance? Okay, like for me, one of the things that made this list is I go to Europe. I haven't been to Europe dozens of times or anything, but every chance I get, I try to take advantage of. I love the history there. I love the architecture and just the vibe of the cities there. And I also like on the opposite side, all the little villages. Once you get outside the city, you start getting into just a village, and then usually pasture or, green land, and then another village, and then another village. And I like all of it. So every chance I get, I go to Europe. All right. Third question is, what makes you feel excited? Okay. So I'm not talking about excited like someone cut you off and your hands are waving and you're waving at the other driver in that special wave. I'm talking about excited like, oh my gosh, I love to do this kind of thing. What drives that excitement inside of you? Fourth question is, what makes you feel confident? Okay, so this one was a little bit interesting for me, because I am a very confident speaker, and I'm a very confident writer, and I believe that has come from experience. The more you do it, the more confident you are that you're coming across like you want to. But I also put on the list of I'm pretty confident in making chicken soup, and I'm pretty confident with my spaghetti sauce recipe. So there you have it. What do you feel confident about? Either, because you've done it a lot and you get positive feedback from it, or it just lights you up inside and makes you feel confident. The fifth question is, if all your money needs were met, like you didn't have to profit from this, what would you do anyway? And one of the things that made my list on this one I had to laugh at is I would organize things. It is just a function of my personality that I like things like fairly neat and orderly. I don't think I'm anal about it, although my family might disagree. We're not going to ask them. But I would organize anyway, just because I enjoy it. So if all your money needs were met, what would you do anyway? The sixth question is, what one thing would you like to change in the world? Okay, so we're broadening out from just you to looking at the world as a whole and what cause charges you up. Okay, for me, hands down, this was animal and environmental charities. I joined my first animal charity called the Animal Protection Institute. I must have been 10, 11 years old. So I have always been interested in animal causes and environmental type things. And the last question I want you to answer is, what just makes you smile? What just, even the thought of it brings a smile to your face? And I had some really simple things on my list for this one, like The Big Bang Theory. I love that show. Every episode I laugh, the same with Modern Family. I'm watching those two in syndication now. That always makes me smile. But what also makes me smile, even just thinking about it, is when my dog is looking at me and I talk to her and she cocks her head to the side like, "You're crazy, human." That always makes me smile. For some people, it might be other people, like being with their grandkids or certain holidays or traditions that always make you smile. So whatever's on your list, it's okay. It can be a person, it can be something you're doing, it can be a place that always makes you smile. So go through those questions, write down your answers, and then start looking at them and treat the questions, individually. Like, don't say, oh, I'm repeating this, and so I don't want to put it here. Because what you want to do is look at all your answers and see what's repeated consistently. Because the more often you wrote that down, the more likely it is that that is your passion. So the idea here is to, maybe you can't make a career out of your passion, and if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, and you're like, I'm hopeless, right? I can't make a career out of drinking wine and browsing through Pinterest. But you can include the things that you're passionate about every day, and it will fill up your soul again so that you can deal with the ups and downs of life with more resilience if you are including something you're passionate about frequently. So I'm going to leave you this from the lighter side. This is a quote from Dave Barry, and he said, "My therapist told me that if I really wanted to find peace in my life, I need to finish what I start. And so far, I've finished 2 bags of M&Ms and a chocolate cake." My kind of guy. We'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.